Hey guys, I'm back. Um, it's been a while actually. I think it's been like a little too long, but I guess that doesn't matter since I'm here now. So this is actually going to be another card review, another card deck review before I officially get back into talking about my experiences and what lessons I've learned over the years. But I want to talk about this deck today. So this deck right here is the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and Katie-Louise. This deck actually came out like, I don't know, it came out a long time ago actually. I can't really pinpoint when it came out. But this is the first deck that was made in the collaboration of both Rebecca Campbell and Katie-Louise. It costs around like $27 over here in the States and around like $36 in Canada. The places that you can find it at would be Barnes and Noble at select bookstores because not every Barnes and Noble bookstore has this deck. Let's see, Books a Million. That is another place that you can find it. If you can find a Books a Million bookstore, luckily I happen to know one that's nearby. But you can find this deck over here. You can find it online on Amazon and maybe a few other places. But y'all already know me. You know what I'm getting ready to say. Go on HeyHouse.com and get this deck yourself because I guarantee that there's going to be some sort of sale that's going on Hay House, and you could probably get this deck for less. And this is actually where I purchased the deck to begin with. I got it from Hay House, but this is the second time I have actually purchased this deck. The first time that I purchased this was from a bookstore, I believe Books a Million. So this is the box design. If you are familiar with my review of the Starseed Oracle and the what was it called? The Healing Waters Oracle, they both have the same box designs. Basically, it just looks like this, and then you can take whatever cards that you have and you can just, place it in there. Again, I don't really use this. I think it's a very interesting design, but it's not something I really use because, again, I don't really see the point. Maybe that'll change further on, but that's pretty much how it works here. So this is what the box looks like. So I'm going to put that off. This is the guidebook. It's a pretty standard guidebook. It shows you, how to use the box, certain card spreads here, if you can see them. And then it tells you the meaning of the cards. And the cards images themselves in this book come out as black and white. So it's a pretty standard guidebook, okay? But what it also comes with, and what the Healing Waters Oracle also comes with, is this Rose Oracle Attunement card. So if you don't have your own way of, activating the cards, you can just use this that Miss Campbell ended up putting up. And plus, she also gives you a little message on the back. I didn't use this because I have my own way of activating my cards. So I don't really use this, but it's nice to have, especially if you're a beginner. So there's that. All right, onto the cards themselves. Now, the first time that I actually bought this deck, um, again, this was a very, very long time ago. So when I first discovered it, I thought it looked pretty, but there was just something that was just blocking me. I really wanted to try the deck. Eventually, I did purchase it for the first time. But when I tried to use it the first time, something was just blocking me. By the way, these are the backs of the cards. So I'm going to do a little slow flip through. But there was something that was bothering me or was blocking me the first time that I attempted to use this deck. And in terms of we're talking about the artwork, if you know Katie-Louise's artwork or if you follow her on Instagram, which I will leave in the description, you already know I'm a huge fan of her artwork. Same as Danielle Noel, but Katie-Louise's artwork is just as beautiful. Okay? But the first time that I tried to use this deck, I felt blocked. Like, I just couldn't connect with it. And I really did try. I really did. Maybe it just wasn't a good time for me. So I just kind of wrote it off as that. Luckily, I was able to return it. But I didn't put this deck off from trying it again for a while until recently when I ordered this deck again. And once more, I was asking, can I connect to this deck? And the answer that I got from my guides and my ancestors was yes, but you won't really need it. I didn't quite understand what they were talking about. So I bought the deck anyway, And I've been using it for, I guess, an on and off kind of situation, so to speak. So here's what I can say about it. To be honest, the deck's energy itself, it's very loving, it's very comforting, it's extremely feminine. So if you are big on divine feminine energy, or if you identify yourself as a soft girl or anything like that, basically if you're extremely feminine, this is your deck. Okay? And even if you're a man or non-binary person, if you deeply identify with your feminine energy, because we all have it, if you identify with that, this is the deck for you. So the deck's energy is very loving, it's very feminine, and it's very, very encouraging, especially if you need one for self-care. And after using this deck for some time now, I think I figured out the reason why I couldn't really connect to it as much, and why I still kind of have a trouble connecting to it. So when I first started using this deck, I would use this deck, or at least tried to use this deck the way that I use my other decks, where I would just use it weekly, and I would use it to get any messages or any advice from my spirit team, so to speak. It could be the creator, my ancestors, sometimes even the angels and archangels, okay? But I realized that I was looking at using this deck the wrong way. I was looking at this deck completely wrong. So I had to change that. Instead of just looking at it as a deck where I could just get advice from my spirit team, I said, why not use this deck to help boost my self esteem? And that's when I understood exactly what my ancestors meant when they told me, yes, you can use this deck, but you won't need it. So, what do I mean when I say this? This deck is wonderful for self care. Like, if you feel that you are struggling in your self image, your self worth, or you feel like that you don't have any power within yourself and that you're not worthy of any respect or love or kindness or anything like that, this deck will prove you wrong the more that you use it. You'll feel better the more that you keep using this deck, because it's like giving yourself a gentle hug. For me personally, I used it mostly for daily pulls, which I will talk about in a minute. But I used it for daily pulls, but quickly just kind of stopped doing that because I realized that with all of the work that I've done for myself, be it shadow work, identifying what my triggers are, identifying what I will tolerate and what I will not tolerate, and how I see myself, I realized in a way that I've already, like, this is going to sound very pretentious, but it's like I've already outgrown this deck. I don't need it anymore. Like, I've already outgrown the main message that comes from this deck, which is to improve how you feel about yourself. And I felt like that I've already done that based with all of the work that I've done. Now, don't get me wrong, this deck is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love the soft pink tones. I love the theme of the rose being showed in every single card, okay? But I find that I don't really need to use this deck as often because, again, based on all the work I've done, it's almost like I don't really need to pull a card to remind myself of how wonderful of a human being I am and how I deserve respect, kindness, and love when I already identified it within myself. I hope all of this makes sense, okay? But these are the cards here. So, because of this deck is kind of the deck where I would use if I just want a little boost in my confidence. Like, maybe once in a while, let me just keep flipping here. But maybe once in a while, if I'm feeling a little bit nervous about something or I'm unsure about something, this is the deck that I would reach for and just kind of pull a card out to just remind myself, okay, what can I do? How do I feel right now? And if I do feel like this, what can I do to change it? Or maybe I just need that little boost of encouragement, you know? So because I use the deck like this, I don't use it every single day and I don't really use it weekly. Just like a once in a while kind of pull, okay? Just like a once in a while kind of pull. Now, in terms of daily pulls, this deck is really, really good for daily pulls because, like I said before, this deck is wonderful for self-care, especially if you don't feel very good about yourself. So this is a deck that I would totally recommend is really good for daily pulls here. Weekly pulls are good too. Another deck that it can be used with is the Healing Waters Oracle. That's about the only other deck I can think of. Possibly the Work Your Light Oracle, the very first one by Rebecca Campbell. You could probably use this with that one. I'm not sure because I don't use that deck anymore. But by itself, it's great. Oh, and one last thing. Excuse me. One last thing. If you happen to have a deity altar or just a self love altar, like let's say you have an altar to help boost your self esteem, or you do self love spells to help make yourself feel pretty or sweeten yourself, or let's say you have an altar for Aphrodite, this deck will fit perfectly on those altars, on those types of altars, okay? So this is a really good deck for those types of altars. Other than that, I don't know if I want to if I want to, donate this deck or give it as a gift to somebody. Because like I said, even though I've used this deck like maybe once in a while when I just need that little boost of encouragement, I still think it's an absolutely gorgeous deck. I love how soft the images are. I love the color palette in these cards. And I just love Katie-Louise's artwork. So I'm still kind of on the fence on whether I should keep this deck or if I should just donate it or give it to somebody who really, really needs it more than I do. So that's pretty much what I have to say about this deck. There's not much more I have to say. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's very encouraging. It's like a warm hug. It's like a comforting hug whenever you feel like nobody really cares about you. And it's just great to boost your self-esteem and your self-worth. So out of 5, I would probably give it a 5. 5 out of 5 for me. Even though, again, I don't use it as often, I still think it's a beautiful deck to work with. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this deck. I don't really have any more, by the way. One last thing, just remembered. This deck has actually inspired me to make a rose-themed soap. I am a soap maker, for those who don't know. I actually have a soap shop where oops, sorry about that. That was a truck. But I actually am a soap maker where I make my own soap. So this deck actually inspired me to make my own soap and make my own soap. Wow, what am I saying? It inspired me to make my own rose themed soap, which I will be experimenting with in the future. But if you guys are interested in my soap bars, I will leave in the description and possibly in the comments below my information. But getting back to this deck, I don't really have much more to say about it. It's a really, really good deck if you feel that your self-esteem is low, if you don't have much confidence in yourself and you're still working on it, if you want to use it to, just kind of give yourself that little boost of encouragement, or even to just give yourself a warm hug when you're going through something really, really traumatic or horrible. This is a good deck for you. Also good for daily pulls. So that's it. That's all I got to say about this deck. If you've ever used it, if you've ever tried it before, tell me how it worked for you in the comments below. I always read comments and I try to respond as soon as I can. But if you've ever used this deck before, tell me how it worked for you in the comments below. Okay? If you've ever used this deck with another deck, tell me which deck that you've used it with, because I'm very interested to know. Okay? Because usually I use it by itself. But that's all I got for you in terms of this deck here. The next video that I'm going to be uploading again is going to be a lesson I've learned and some words of wisdom that I want to pass down to you guys. Just need to find the right time for it because there's a lot. Okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay cool. We're still going through a heat wave. If you're in Florida or one of the southern states, stay cool, stay safe, and just take care of yourself, all right? Peace.